everyone, this is Miss Jess from the Monroe Street Art Center, and I have an art kit number 6 drawing project for you guys today. Inside of your kit, your drawing kit, you're going to find this big drawing board. So today we're going to transform this into our little teeny tiny canvas. It's like a little tiny box. So I thought these were super cool, and I also really like the surface on it because it's a really thick sort of a cardboard poster board, so it holds up really well for both oil pastels and paint. So take this out of your kit. You also are going to take out your oil pastels. So yours are going to be in a little container. Mine are really old and scumbly, but these are the same kind that you guys have. So take these out. They say oil pastels on the side. Take these out of your kit. You're also going to want a pencil today, and then if you have watercolor paints, you can use them today. What happens when you combine oil pastels with watercolors is the same thing that happens when you combine oil and water. They repel each other. So the cool thing about using these two art supplies combined is that you can draw your owl first with oil pastel, and then when you go to paint over it, the paint will kind of move around the oil pastel, and it will allow you to still see all of your awesome lines that you've drawn with your oil pastel. Okay. If you don't have watercolor paints, you could like mix up your own homemade paints. There's a lot of recipes online, or you can just color with your oil pastels today. So the first part of this fun project is putting your box together. So you kind of are just going to follow along these lines, right? There's like indents all the way around. Maybe you've already figured out how to put it together. I had a really good laugh the first time I was putting mine together, but it is possible. So I'm going to sort of crease all of these folds first, and then I'll really stick the whole thing together. Creasing them first just kind of makes it easier to fold once I get to that point. So here we go. Crease it all the way around. Awesome. So now the way that I suggest doing this is rolling in your sides first, as such, right? I don't know if you guys can see this. And then I'm going to roll my tiny triangle inside and tuck it in. First corner is the hardest. It's kind of awkward, but I'm going to do the same thing with the other ones now. Outline in. All right, two sides down. 2 more to go. 3, and last one. All right. Cool. If you guys need to, I mean, these seem pretty sturdy once you get them put together, but if you feel like you want to, you could always put a piece of like tape on the back or something to make sure it really sticks. All right, so now I'm going to take my pencil and draw out my owl. This is actually a really simple owl today. What I'm going to do is draw the basic shape of it, and I'll hold it up so that you guys can see. I'm kind of starting at the bottom. I bring my pencil up, and I make a loop-de-loop for one ear, a loop-de-loop for the second ear, and then I bring it all the way back down. Okay, these are going to be my owl's ears, like this one. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is draw a triangle right on the top of his head facing down. So, like this. Okay, and then I can draw 2 big circle eyes on either side of that triangle. I'm starting with pencil first, just because if I make a mistake, it's easier to erase. I got 2 eyes on there. He needs a triangle beak. And then I can add some extra decorations. So here's the face so far. Feel free to pause the video and copy this if you guys need to, okay? I think that this owl looks kind of funny by having a lot of circles in his eyes. There's the yellow, the red, the blue, the white, and then the black polka dot in the middle. So I'm just going to add a couple extra circles inside my other circles to make it look like that one. Okay, gives my owl a little bit of personality. For this one, the owl has wings that are kind of sitting on both sides of the body. So for that part, I'll just draw 2 shapes that go all the way down to the corners of my canvas, or my little my drawing board. If you want to, you could draw something in the sky. I decided to have my first owl be in the nighttime. Yours could be in the daytime. Maybe your owl is sitting in a tree. I don't know. Maybe this time I'm gonna do a daytime owl, so I'll draw a big sun up here. Okay, daytime, nighttime owl. Although probably a lot more owls are nighttime owls. All right, so now the next part is to use our oil pastels. Since I am going to be using watercolor paints today, I don't want to color the whole thing solid with these. I just want to do some details, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. If this is a daytime owl, I'm going to take my orange oil pastel and just trace over what I just drew with my pencil. I'm pressing nice and hard too. It sort of works the best when you have a really nice thick line of oil pastel. That way the paint doesn't get confused. It'll sort of float right over it, okay? Maybe I just want to outline my owl today in black so that it really stands out, especially if I have like a bright yellow sky. So again, I'm just tracing. Take your time, go nice and slow. I'm tracing over the lines that I drew for the outline of my owl right now. Okay, trace around the eyes. Something with oil pastels is they can sometimes be hard to do little teeny tiny details like those extra circles in my owl's eyes. So I think what I'm going to do is actually leave those little circles for my paint. And I can always touch it up later too, maybe with my permanent marker. Okay. Maybe the next thing I want to do, since I do have some other colors of oil pastels, is give my owl blue stripes across his belly. Again, I'm just pushing nice and firm so I get a nice solid line. Okay, and then maybe I'll do some on the head. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw almost like these little loop-de-loop shapes where those wings are to sort of make it look like he's got some texture, some feathers. And then once I'm done with this part is when I'm going to use my paint. So obviously you're going to need, if you're using paint, grab yourself a container of water and a paintbrush and maybe a paper towel. All right, I'm loving how this looks, you guys. A blue owl in the daytime. All right, so using my paints now, I've got my water, I've got my paintbrush. Like I said, oil and water repel each other. So I'm going to paint right over this and I'll show you guys what I mean. Let's see, I really think my owl should have a red belly. So get some red paint on my brush here. And then, actually I feel like I want a little more water. And then I'll hold it up here and you can see if I paint right over it, it doesn't cover up my blue lines. Awesome, right? So it kind of takes away some of the pressure of having to stay inside the lines, if you will, because the lines are already there. You can just go right around them. Okay, I really like the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and make a time-lapse video of me finishing my owl painting. And then for the very last part, I'll just show you guys how I'm going to put on some final touches with my permanent marker, okay? Have fun. All right, you guys, so my painting is basically dry. So the very last thing that I'm going to do is take my permanent marker. This is going to help me get the really teeny tiny details that I wasn't able to get with my black oil pastel because it's so much thicker. So I'm going to take this and I always do a finger check, right? If your paint is still wet, you want to definitely not use your permanent marker because it's probably going to ruin the tip of it. So I just press my finger onto the part that I want to draw on and make sure that nothing comes off on my finger. So I'm going to use my permanent marker to fill in the black dot in his eye. And I think I want to do maybe just another outline here on my other eye to make it really stand out. Okay. Awesome. If there's any other details I wanted to do, like maybe I want to put polka dots in this purple space above. This is really fun to add teeny tiny details when it's totally dry afterwards. So I'll hold it up here so you guys can see what I mean. There, now he's got little tiny polka dots. Just adds more texture, makes it look a little interesting. Maybe if the ears are dry, let's see. They're a little bit wet still, so maybe I shouldn't. But I could, I want to try it. This one's pretty much dry. Could draw just like a little loop-de-loop inside. Add some extra touches. Okay. Anyways, so have fun with this project, you guys. I would love to see what kind of owls you guys come up with. And if you want to share them with us, we would love to see. Have fun.